What you know, alibiers. Welcome to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I'm Gigi. It is Monday, April 28th, a new week of testimony in the retrial of Karen Reed. Friday and today, both half days. Today, they are proffering Daniel Wolf, who is an accident reconstructionist. I'm not going to recap that in depth, but we'll let you know what the judge rules as far as what's going to be allowed in. And on Friday, that was also a half day. They had the jury view in the morning. And then in the afternoon, there were two witnesses. Dr. Gary Fowler, who is a physician pathologist, he testified to Karen's blood alcohol level that was taken shortly after 9 a.m. that morning. It was 93 milligrams per deciliter, and that would put her over the legal limit for Massachusetts. The next witness after that was Jason Becker with the Canton Fire Department. He's also an EMT. He responded with firefighter Whitley in response to the psychiatric hold. I'm just going to briefly summarize this because it was very similar to firefighter Whitley's testimony from last week. He said overall, her behavior was cooperative. At times, her tone was rapid and repetitive. She told the witness the last thing she and John did was argue. He didn't press her on that, and they got her to the psychiatric section of the hospital and got her registered. On cross, the defense pointed out Karen had blood on her face, hair, and neck from doing CPR, and the defense says that regarding her tone and demeanor, she had just been through something traumatic, and the witness agreed that could be part of the reason. And even though she said she didn't want to live if John died, he did not think that was a huge statement at the time. He had to take her for the psychiatric evaluation regardless, due to the fact they had that hold. Now today, Lord have mercy, y'all, it was some technical testimony. We had Ian Whiffen on the stand. He is a Celebrite expert. He looked through the data from Jen McCabe's phone as well as John O'Keefe. The testimony regarding Jim McCabe's phone was very confusing, but ultimately, in the end, he thinks the search, how long to die in the cold or how long to die in the cold, was actually done at 6:24 a.m. and not 2:27. He explained there was a tab already opened to a sports page at 2:27, and that's the same tab that was later used for the 6:23 and the 6:24 a.m. searches. He says the searches at 6:23 and 6:24, as far as he could see, did not even load results. He thinks the deletion of the how long to die in cold were a system event and not from a person. He wasn't able to say what caused these deletions at the particular times, and he also was not able to recreate that spontaneous deletion. And that kind of sums up what he said about that. And we are switching over to John O'Keefe's phone, and we're talking about location data. He looked at the times on January 29th from midnight to 6 a.m. At 12:19 a.m., the app Waze is opened, and the accuracy of John's phone improves over the next few seconds after that app is opened. The average speed was 20 miles an hour. He goes through the roads that John and Karen were on and the times that they're moving. At 12:24 and 28 seconds, they're around the driveway of 34 Fairview. And then at 12:24 and 38 seconds, the device stops. The phone went past the driveway before stopping, and the Commonwealth asks if the phone is close to the flagpole on the property, and the witness says yes. He never sees the car stop at the driveway. 12:25 and 30 seconds, Waze was closed for 40 or 50 seconds. The location data he's referring to never came from Waze. It's actually requested location data from the app to the phone, but the phone is actually what he's using the location data from. He shows a range of where the phone could be, and the witness said the device is showing it could be close to 34 Fairview. The phone could be inside 34 Fairview or in the car. You can't say for certain in a pinpoint sense exactly where his phone was located. Between 12:27 and 12:38 a.m., there are 50 low accuracy records. The device just wasn't asking for a location, and a lot of those locations overlap. At 12:38, the accuracy improves down to 18 meters, and it shows the same general area around the flagpole as well as the lawn. And he says around the flagpole. At 12:38, there is a 12-meter shift slightly in that radius. The flagpole is more at the bottom of the radius, and the center point is more in the middle of the yard. He explains when your radius is between 12 and 14 meters, it's a little harder to determine how accurate the data is. He says if there is an environmental or weather change, it could cause a slight miscalculation of the location, such as a snowstorm or blizzard. Someone could be lying on the phone or being inside a building could be an example. They show some photos, and if he takes all the data from midnight to 6 a.m. and focuses on a radius of 10 meters or better, it showed the average location of the phone focused in the flagpole area. He shows another graphic with red dots, and it's that 10-meter or better radius, and it puts the device in the yard each time. It's impossible to tell if all these red dots indicate movement or not. The Commonwealth asked the witness, are all these dots and all these readings of the high-frequency data that you compiled for that night, are they all consistent with Mr. O'Keefe's phone being near the flagpole and not moving that night? And the witness thinks that is a reasonable assumption. Moving on to healthcare data on John's phone. Apple Health data is the same on the phone and the watch. However, if you're only using the phone, it's limited to steps and altitude climbs. It doesn't have the sensors that the Apple Watch has for heart rate, your oxygen saturations, and things like that. From 12:11 to 12:21, there are 170 steps taken. This is during the time they are in the car traveling to Fairview. From 12:21 to 12:24, there are 80 steps, which equals 3 flights. Between this time, the car is still traveling, and at 12:24, it comes to a stop. From 12:31 to 12:32, there are 36 steps. The Commonwealth asks if the phone never moved again, and the witness said that is correct, not until 6:04 a.m. Between 6:04 and 6:11, there are 432 steps. This is clearly after he's been found and moved. For the battery temperature, he shows a summary of the temperature dropping beginning at 12:13 a.m. from 82 degrees to 6:06 a.m. when it's 43 degrees. Now, after the phone has been discovered, the temperature rises from 43 degrees at 6:06 to 61 degrees at 6:56, and it just confirms somebody got his phone and it went inside where it's much warmer. Moving on to the phone activity. They talk about John opening text messages. He makes a call at 12:18 with the duration being less than a minute. He also opens Waze from 12:24 to 12:29 a.m. The final unlock of the phone is at 12:32. He looks at a text message and the phone is locked again until he's found. He talks about Doppler and pocket state. So whenever a device receives a call or the phone is picked up, it starts looking for a face to unlock the phone if you have Face ID enabled. It will record a pocket state if the camera is obstructed and will keep doing so until that obstruction is removed. For example, if you get a text message and you keep the phone in your pocket and don't take the phone out to look at it, your phone is going to record a pocket state. It's going to keep doing that until you actually open the phone again. The witness goes through all of these pocket state records, and to make a long story short, from 12:33 a.m. until 5:19 a.m., there were 26,532 of those done, and none were cleared. So that would indicate the phone was obstructed during that time. He starts going through specific phone events, and there were a lot. So we're just going to talk about the most pertinent ones. 12:18 a.m., John makes an outgoing call to Jen McCabe. 12:20 a.m., there is an incoming text. He doesn't say it here. This is addressed on cross, but this text is from Brian Higgins asking, "You coming here?" That is read at 12:25 a.m. 12:27 a.m., there is an incoming text from Jen McCabe, and it says here with a question mark. That is read immediately. 12:29, incoming call from Jen McCabe, which was answered for a 7-second duration. 12:31, incoming text from Jen McCabe that says, pull behind me. That is read a minute later at 12:32. There are incoming calls from Karen. There are 11 between 12:33 and 12:38. There is a 3-second voicemail from Karen at 12:37. 12:40, there is an incoming text from Jen McCabe, hello, and then another right after asking, where are you? 12:42, there is a 40-second voicemail from Karen. 12:45, there is a text from Jen McCabe that says hello. 12:53, the witness said the phone data puts the phone near the flagpole area. 12:55, there is a text from Karen, I'm going home, and then another text that says, see you later. 1:02, there is a text from Karen, your kids are effing alone. 1:04, another text from Karen, I'm back in Mansfield, the kids are home alone. The witness's opinion is the phone was in the flagpole area from 12:24 and 33 seconds until around 6 a.m. The defense is up and they enter in 3 documents which contain portions of a March 2025 report that was prepared by Mr. Whiffen. And the defense points out that seconds, as far as the cell phone data, can be significant. He goes back to the timeline of the PowerPoint presentation the witness brought in with the Commonwealth. At 12:24 and 38 seconds, the description shows the speed as 0. This is the arrival of John's phone to 34 Fairview. At 12:24 and 59 seconds, the device unlocks with Face ID. And the defense asks the witness, is it possible for anyone other than John to unlock with Face ID? The witness said if a second user was set up, yes, but he did not look to see if there was a second person set up to be able to open John's phone. 12:25 and 8 seconds, there's a message that's read. You coming here? The defense says you did not note who that was from. They go back through the record, and the witness said it was from Brian Higgins. And the defense again asks, you did not note that that was from Brian Higgins when you testified earlier. The witness says that's correct. 12:25 and 9 seconds, the device is locked. But in your March 2025 report, you have more of a description of what was happening with the phone. Specifically, the phone shifts to a westerly direction, and location records show the device moving west from the roadside towards the house, and the witness says yes. The defense says there is no statement in this timeline where you concluded at this time the record shows the device moving. The witness said the accuracy of location was improving, but it did not prove the device was moving. The defense says, my question is straightforward. Did you include the analysis that you had in your report? This device was moving from the road towards the house. The witness said, no, I left that out. The next entry, 12:27 and 33 seconds. You note there's a message received from Jen McCabe that says here with a question mark. At this point, you have 2 people in just 2.5 minutes. Brian Higgins and Jen McCabe trying to find out if John is coming to Fairview, and the witness says yes. Next, at 12:27 and 48 seconds, John read the message that was sent by Jennifer McCabe. And the time it was read was not in your timeline, and the witness says no. 12:29 and 37 seconds, the phone goes into the Doppler pocket state. Does that mean someone put the phone in their pocket? The witness said the only time it would cause a pocket state to be recorded was when the camera was blocked, a call was received, or the phone was picked up in a way that makes the device think you're about to use it. If the camera is not blocked from the outset, nothing is recorded at all. And to get to where it clears that block, you have to unblock the camera. The defense asks, what did you conclude from 12:29 and 37 seconds through 12:29 and 42 seconds? Did you conclude it was in pocket state and then that pocket state cleared? And the witness agreed. Whatever was obstructing the camera was moved. At 12:29, there's a call from Jen McCabe. So you indicate her name, and also the call was answered and the duration was 7 seconds. Is the phone at this time out in front of 34 Fairview? Yes. 12:31 and 47 seconds. There is an iMessage received from Jen McCabe. Pull behind me. Then at 12:31 and 52 seconds, it goes back to pocket state. And the witness agrees. 12:31 and 56 seconds is the start of the health event that is 36 steps. Is it accurate to say that's about 84 feet? And the witness said approximately. The defense refers to the witness's March 2025 report. For this time, you stated the device began moving for a period of 20 seconds. Yes. 12:32 and 3 seconds, the pocket state is cleared. Does that mean there's human activity? The witness said it could have been a received call or the phone lifted. At 12:32 and 4 seconds, it's unlocked with Face ID. And then at 12:32 and 5 seconds, there is a message. What does that mean? The witness said the message app was in focus on screen and being used by the user. 12:32 and 6 seconds, the message app is used to read the message from Jim McCabe that said, pull behind me. The defense points out, you didn't put that in your timeline, and the witness says correct. 12:32 and 9 seconds, there is an application lock and the device is locked with a button for the last time. 12:32 and 16 seconds, 7 seconds after the last lock is the end of the health event for 36 steps, and the witness says that's correct. The defense goes to ask another question about these steps based on his March 2025 report. At this point, the judge stops the cross-exam so they can begin the voir dire of Daniel Wolf, the accident reconstructionist. So tomorrow, this witness will be back on the stand under cross-exam. That is it for today. Hope you guys have a good evening. We'll see you soon.